Victimization is a commodity of the race hustlers. It is rewarded handsomely. People that emphasize victimization are rewarded handsomely. Welcome back to the latest episode of Make Our Voice Known. It is the silly season, as I call it, the campaign season, where candidates utilize their ad buys and their ad spots to convey a message. Typically, the messages are very stale, attacking one person, attacking the other candidate based upon either their policy stances or something at times, and very negative when it comes to their personality. There have been various negative attack acts run in the past versus, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, President Obama. I mean, there's been a number of negative attack acts, even down to some of the local races and the school board races and the city council races and the mayoral races. But this particular ad here, this spot by Charles Booker, who is running as a Democrat in the state of Kentucky against Rand Paul. Now, I understand what Mr. Booker was going for. He was going to grab attention. He's running against a sitting U.S. senator in the state, whereas he probably doesn't have much of a shot. He's running in Kentucky as a Democrat against a Republican. But nevertheless, Mr. Booker has stooped to using the atrocities of our past for political purposes. He wants to use the atrocity of the lynching, depicting himself as being the descendants of ancestors who were lynched. Now, as a black person, we've probably all had ancestors that were lynched. I grew up in Mississippi. My mom and my grandmother and others have either had relatives or friends that we know were lynched. Lynching was very commonplace in the Deep South in the early 1900s as a part of Jim Crow, as a part of state-sanctioned terror, which was sanctioned by Southern Democrats, for those of you who don't know. But the audacity of this man, Charles Booker, to use the graphic imagery of lynching for campaign purposes, to use the atrocity of lynching for present-day political power, political expediency. Shameful. Here, take a look. It's very graphic. I warn you ahead of time, it's very graphic.
The pain of our past persists to this day. In Kentucky, like many states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes for freedom. It was used to kill my ancestors. Now, in a historic victory for our Commonwealth, I have become the first Black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. My opponent, the very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed the Civil Rights Act. The person who single-handedly blocked an anti-lynching act from being federal law. The choice couldn't be clearer. Do we move forward together? Or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart? In November, we will choose healing. We will choose Kentucky.
See, it's these kinds of things, to use that atrocity of lynching for present-day victimization, to garner sympathy, to garner votes, is shameful. Charles Booker, you should be ashamed for that. You really should be. If you can't stand on your policies, if you can't stand on principle, and you're using the symbol of lynching to say that Rand Paul is taking us back to the past, that is horrific. That is very shameful. There is no place for that. But in today's culture that's very secular, in today's culture that rewards victimization, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. But in today's culture, victimization is a commodity. Victimization is rewarded. It is. Victimization is a commodity of the race hustlers. It is rewarded handsomely. People that emphasize victimization are rewarded handsomely. And Charles Booker falls right along those lines. To use that graphic imagery of lynching to victimize himself as a candidate that's running against a candidate that's going to hold people back, Rand Paul. You should be ashamed of yourself, Charles Booker. You should be ashamed. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. Thank you so much for liking your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that.